Here's another video that you can decide. I've had this little stud colt here for a couple of months, and he is probably the most defensive horse I've ever had around here, as far as his face and his head and his mind being closed-minded. In his defense, it'd been a long time since he'd been touched when he came here, but like I said, I've had him here for a couple of months, and what I'd like to be able to do is walk up to him and touch his head and not have him pull his head away from me. What he does is, well, I'll maybe be able to show you. If I come over here, see how he takes his head away from me? And if I don't hold his head here, he keeps pulling it away and pulling it away. Everybody here that sees this is going to have an opinion, but if we can't walk up to him and catch him and bring his head around and see him pulling on me, he's going to be bloody hard to catch. See, he's standing there with his head tipped to the side right now. I can pull him with the halter. Now, I can do everything that I want to do with this horse, pick up his feet, move him, back him up, catch him. I can catch him. I'm not totally convinced that they'll be able to catch him when he goes home. Flooding or learned helplessness. I've got to teach this horse to not react somehow when he gets stimulus by his face, so that we'll be able to catch him. So we're going to spend a couple of minutes here, and you get to watch. You get to decide. If this horse is flooded, if he's learned helplessness, if he's given up the will to live. All I'd like for him to do is stand here and let me pet his face, just like that. Just like that. If I can do that, I can catch him, just like this. But if I can't do that, see him moving his head away. Now he's leaving. So I've got to teach him that it's okay to let me touch his face. Is that a form of learned helplessness? I've been working on this for a while. I don't think that I'm doing this horse a disservice by teaching him that he ought to be able to get caught and get his face petted. I'm using a flag. A lot of people say flags are evil. I don't think they are. I think it's how you use them. But I'd like for him to, when he has stimulus in front of him, to let me come up and catch him. And he's being really good for the camera, but I think you've seen the problem. If you walk up to him to catch him, he's already drifting away. I need him to come back to me and not lay on that rope. See how he's laying on that rope? There. Now I'll pet him. When you see how his head's twisted like this, he's thinking that way. Is this a form of learned helplessness? Is this a form of flooding? There. That's good. I don't think so. I personally think that I need to get this horse to where he can coexist with human beings. And whatever that takes is okay. When we first got him, if you touched him over here, he'd just bend his head around and leave. If you put a rope around his neck, he'd just drag you with him. Well, you didn't get to see that part. What you get to see is, have I taught him learned helplessness? That when I put this rope around his neck, can he not go away like he's doing now? Or could he learn to come over here? See, he's dropped his ear, he's thinking to the right. And if you let him get away a couple of times, you'll never catch him again. Unless you roped him. I don't want to rope him. I want him to come over here and put his head in my lap like he's doing now. So, I have a question for you people. If he's learned that he can't look away and take me with him, is that learned helplessness? I know the answer to it because I've helped a couple of thousand horses. You have to ask yourselves, do I really know what learned helplessness is? Before you go throwing accusations at different people for different methods, ask yourself, is this really going to help this horse down the line? Is this going to make this horse a partner? Is this going to make this horse where we can coexist? It's a hard question. But if I can't catch this horse anytime I want to catch this horse, it's my fault for not teaching him how to get caught. And some horses will just come up to you and go to rubbing on you and you put the halter on their head. Some horses, like this guy, would just as soon leave. I want it when they're standing here like this, but I don't want it because I've got a halter on his head and I'm making him. I would like it if he chose to. Well, if he has to choose to be with me, it would stand to reason that he wouldn't be thinking about twisting his head and going that way and leaving me. I think you get what you earn out of this horse deal. And if I can, and I've spent my time proving to this old boy that being with me is not a bad thing, and yet it's so deep inside him, you can see him drop his ear and start thinking that way. It might be a long time before you can catch him like a dude horse. But did I flood him? Did I teach him learned helplessness? I don't believe I did. I think I helped him learn a different response to stimulus that's not quite fixed, but it's close to being fixed. And we owe it to the horses to get them to a place where they can coexist with humans, because they can't live on their own anymore. He has to learn to let down and be with the humans. The days are gone of him being able to make a living on his own out in some big field somewhere. And I think we're doing him a disservice if we don't get him to where they at least get their behaviors modified to the point where they can coexist with their human handlers. It improves their quality of life. And that's why I'm doing it. To be really honest with you, I don't care if anybody else can catch this horse or not. I can catch him. But his quality of life will go through the roof if his owner could catch him. That's what we owe the horse. We owe the horse everything inside us to get them to where they can coexist in this world. And unfortunately, this world is ran by human beings. And if he's hard to get along with, his quality of life is going to be terrible. So did I teach him learned helplessness by teaching him that he couldn't take my rope and drag me across the pen? I don't think so. And if you've got a 10-year-old horse that you can't catch because when you put a rope around his neck he drags off or he leaves, have you done that horse a disservice by not teaching him to stay? Not as long as you're alive, but when you die, who do you know personally that's going to take on that horse? Or are they just going to run him in a trailer loose because they can't catch him? Just a few thoughts today with the little Dunstud. It's a work in progress, but we're not done yet. Optimism's high, and I really like this guy. Like I said, I can do anything I want, but he lets me catch him because he thinks he has to let me catch him. I want him to let me catch him because he wants to get caught. That is the difference between my deal and maybe somebody else's. Something to think about. See ya.